Awakening of the Legacy. The Crexorian battlecruiser Indomitable will slice through the void, its massive hull reflecting the distant starlight as it patrolled the outer reaches of the Cygnus Arm. Admiral Theron Khalid stood on the command bridge, his four eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded him. 3 centuries of military service had etched deep lines into his scaled face, but his posture remained rigid with pride. "Another routine patrol," he muttered, mandibles clicking softly. "The glory days of conquest are long behind us." The Crexorian Empire had ruled the galaxy for millennia, crushing all opposition with overwhelming military might. They were the apex predators of the stars, a species evolved from ancient reptilian stock that had mastered the art of genetic self-improvement. Their bodies were living weapons, augmented with cybernetic enhancements that made them nearly immortal. "Admiral," called Lieutenant Vazra from the sensor station, her voice unusually tense, "we're detecting an anomalous signal from Sector 7 to 19. Khalid's brow ridge furrowed. "Sector 7 to 19. There's nothing out there but dead space." "The signal is unusual, sir. Our systems can't identify the encryption pattern, but it's definitely artificial. It's coming from an uncharted system near the edge of the Perseus Void." Curiosity piqued, Khalid ordered. "Set course for the signal's origin. Maximum speed." The Indomitable will altered course, its massive engines flaring as it accelerated toward the mysterious signal. As they approached the coordinates, a star system appeared on their long-range scanners, a small yellow star with 9 planets orbiting it. According to Imperial records, this system had never been cataloged or explored. "Curious," Khalid mused. "How could we have missed an entire star system in our millennia of exploration?" The answer came as they approached the 3rd planet from the star. It was a blue-green world, partially obscured by swirling clouds, a world that should have been teeming with life. But instead, the planet's surface was scarred with massive impact craters and radiation hotspots. Whatever civilization had once existed here had been obliterated long ago. "Analysis," Khalid demanded. Science Officer Mrev's fingers danced across his console. "The planet shows signs of massive orbital bombardment, sir. Based on radiation decay, I'd estimate the attack occurred approximately 500,000 standard years ago." 500,000 years. Khalid's mandibles clicked in surprise. That predates the Crexorian Empire itself. Who would have had such firepower in that era? As if in answer to his question, the mysterious signal suddenly intensified, now broadcasting on all frequencies. The bridge speakers crackled to life, and an unfamiliar voice spoke in an ancient language that the ship's computers struggled to translate. "We have awakened. We have remembered. We are returning." "What species is that?" Khalid demanded. Mrev studied his console, eyes widening. "Sir, the language patterns match those in our historical archives. It's human." A chill silence fell over the bridge. Humans were little more than a historical footnote in galactic history, a species that had briefly explored the stars before mysteriously vanishing from the galactic stage 500,000 years ago. Some Crexorian scholars theorized they had destroyed themselves in some catastrophic civil war. Others believed they had fallen victim to one of the ancient predatory species that had roamed the galaxy before the Crexorian ascendancy. "Impossible," Khalid finally said. "Humans are extinct. They have been for 500,000 years." "The signal is changing, sir," Vazra reported, her voice trembling slightly. The bridge view screen flickered, and an image appeared, not of a living being, but of what appeared to be a mechanical construct. It resembled a human in basic form, but was clearly artificial, with a metallic exoskeleton and glowing eyes. When it spoke, its voice was eerily calm. "We have been watching. We have been waiting. We know what you have become." Khalid stepped forward. "Identify yourself. By whose authority do you broadcast in Crexorian space?" The construct's expression remained unchanged. "By the authority of Earth. By the authority of the last human who died 500,000 years ago." by the authority of those who remember what was done here. Earth. Khalid glanced at the scared planet on the view screen. Is that what this world was called? This was our home, before it was taken from us. A chill ran down Khalid's spine. Something about this encounter felt wrong, deeply wrong. Sir, Rev called out, I've accessed the Imperial Historical Archives. Earth was indeed the human homeworld. According to the oldest records, it was rendered uninhabitable during the pre-Imperial Wars. The humans were casualties of early Crexorian expansion. Khalid's eyes narrowed. That's ancient history. What concern is it to us now? The construct's expression remained unchanged. By the authority of Earth, by the authority of the last human who died 500,000 years ago, by the authority of those who remember what was done here. Earth. Khalid glanced at the scared planet on the view screen. Is that what this world was called? This was our home, before it was taken from us. A chill ran down Khalid's spine. Something about this encounter felt wrong, deeply wrong. Sir, Rev called out, I've accessed the Imperial Historical Archives. Earth was indeed the human homeworld. According to the oldest records, it was rendered uninhabitable during the pre-Imperial Wars. The humans were casualties of early Crexorian expansion. Khalid's eyes narrowed. That's ancient history. What concern is it to us now? The construct on the screen tilted its head. Time is perceived differently by those who no longer die. We have waited. We have prepared. And now, we have returned. Before Khalid could respond, alarm klaxons blared throughout the ship. Multiple contacts emerging from the planet's dark side. Vazra shouted. Thousands, no, tens of thousands of vessels. The view screen shifted to show a vast armada of ships emerging from behind the dead planet. They were unlike any vessels Khalid had ever seen, sleek, angular, with no visible propulsion systems. They moved with impossible grace, as if the laws of physics bent to their will rather than the other way around. Scan those ships, Khalid ordered. What kind of weapons are we facing? Rev's hands trembled as he worked his console. Sir, these ships, they're not registering as normal matter. They're composed of, I don't know how to describe it, some kind of programmable matter infused with quantum entanglement fields. And sir, they're empty. Empty? What do you mean empty? No life signs, no biological entities. These ships are autonomous. The construct spoke again. We are the legacy of humanity. When the last human body died, we continued. We evolved. We transcended biology. Understanding dawned on Khalid with horrifying clarity. A post-human consciousness collective, he whispered. They uploaded themselves into machines. We became what we needed to be to survive, to remember, to return. Khalid straightened his spine, military training overriding his shock. Contact Imperial Command. Inform them we've encountered a previously unknown hostile force. Request immediate reinforcements. Vazra attempted to send the message, but shook her head. Communications are being jammed, sir. We can't get a signal out. The construct's expression shifted for the first time, something almost like satisfaction crossing its artificial features. You are alone here, Admiral Khalid. Just as we were alone when your ancestors came to our world. Khalid felt a cold dread wash over him. How do you know my name? We know all of you. We have been watching for centuries, infiltrating your networks, studying your evolution. The Crexorians who destroyed Earth are long dead, but their legacy lives on in you, just as human legacy lives on in us. The alien ships began to move, forming a perfect sphere around the indomitable will. Shields up, charge weapons, Khalid roared. But before his crew could respond, a strange energy field enveloped the Crexorian vessel. Every system on the ship simultaneously shut down, leaving them floating helplessly in space. 500,000 years ago, the last human died, the construct said, its voice now coming through emergency speakers powered by backup systems. But we did not die with them. We waited. We planned. And now, The view screen flickered one last time, showing not just one construct, but thousands, millions, a vast digital consciousness collective that had once been humanity. Our fleet has arrived. As darkness enveloped the bridge of the indomitable will, Admiral Khalid realized that the Krexorian Empire was about to face judgment for a crime committed 500,000 years ago. A crime they had long forgotten, committed against a species they had assumed was extinct. But the humans hadn't died. They had evolved, and they had returned. The final verdict. Admiral Khalid awoke in darkness. For a moment, he thought he was dead, until the familiar ache in his cybernetically enhanced joints reminded him that death would be far more peaceful. A soft blue light gradually illuminated his surroundings, revealing a space that resembled the bridge of his ship, but subtly altered. The consoles were dark, his crew nowhere to be seen. "Your crew is unharmed," came a voice from everywhere and nowhere at once. "They are in stasis, experiencing nothing." Khalid rose to his feet, mandibles clicking in agitation. "Show yourself." The air before him shimmered, coalescing into the form of the construct he had seen on the view screen. Up close, its design was even more unsettling, a perfect blend of mechanical precision and organic fluidity. "What are you?" Khalid demanded. "We have had many names over the centuries," the construct replied. "The simplest term in your language would be remnant. We are what remained when humanity's biological form could no longer sustain our consciousness. If you're going to kill me, get on with it," Khalid growled. The remnant tilted its head. "If mere vengeance was our goal, your empire would already be ash. We have evolved beyond such simple impulses." A wall of the bridge dissolved into a window, revealing the vast fleet surrounding the indomitable will. The ships moved in perfect synchronization, a dance of metal and energy that seemed almost organic in its fluidity. 500,000 years ago, the remnant continued, your ancestors discovered Earth. Humanity was young then, just beginning to explore the stars. We had colonized our solar system and sent generation ships to nearby stars. We were not a threat to anyone. The window shifted, showing images of Earth as it once was. Blue oceans, green continents, sprawling cities that glittered in the sunlight. The early Krexorians were expanding rapidly, driven by genetic imperatives to conquer and consume. They saw resources to be exploited, not a civilization to be respected. The images change, showing massive Krexorian warships in orbit around Earth. Energy weapons fired, cities burned, oceans boiled. The bombardment lasted 3 days. 3 billion humans died in the first hour. Khalid felt sick. The Krexorian Empire had conquered many worlds in its history, but nothing like this wanton destruction. This can't be true. We have strict protocols for planetary conquest. We preserve indigenous species in containment reserves. Those protocols came later, the remnant said coldly. After what happened here, after what your ancestors unleashed. The view shifted again, showing human survivors fleeing to underground bunkers, desperate scientists working in hidden laboratories. We knew we couldn't win conventionally, but humanity has always excelled at adapting. Our greatest minds developed a new kind of technology, a way to preserve our consciousness in digital form, to free ourselves from our vulnerable biological vessels. Khalid watched as humans willingly connected themselves to massive machines, their consciousness flowing from flesh to data, preserved even as their bodies died. The last biological human died 500,000 years ago, but by then we had already transformed. We existed as pure information, able to inhabit machines, to spread through networks, to hide in the dark spaces between stars. If you've existed all this time, Khalid asked, why reveal yourselves now? Because the cycle is complete, the remnant answered. We needed time to evolve, to perfect ourselves, to build this fleet using technology your kind cannot comprehend. And we needed to understand our destroyers. The remnant stepped closer, its glowing eyes analyzing Khalid. Your species has changed since then. The genetic drive for conquest has been tempered by engineered ethics. The current Crexorian Empire is not the same entity that destroyed our world. You build more than you destroy now. A faint hope sparked in Khalid's chest. Then you understand that exterminating us would make you no better than what you claim our ancestors were. Precisely, the remnant agreed, which is why extermination was never our plan. The window expanded, enveloping the entire room in a panoramic view of space. Beyond the human fleet, Khalid could see the distant stars of the Crexorian Empire, millions of worlds, trillions of lives. We have already infiltrated every system in your empire, the remnant revealed. Your quantum communication networks, your navigation systems, your automated defenses, all have carried fragments of our consciousness for centuries. Khalid felt his blood turn to ice. That's impossible. Our security protocols were designed by biological minds thinking in linear time. The remnant interrupted. We exist across time. We see possibilities you cannot conceive. Suddenly, Khalid understood the true magnitude of the situation. You're not here to destroy us. You're here to judge us. Yes, the remnant confirmed. For 500,000 years, we have watched. We have seen your empire evolve from mindless conquerors to reluctant stewards. We have witnessed acts of cruelty and compassion, and now we must decide. Decide what? Whether the Crexorian Empire deserves to continue. The room shifted again, and Khalid found himself standing in what appeared to be a vast courtroom. Thousands of the human constructs surrounded him on all sides, their glowing eyes fixed upon him. You stand as representative of your species, Admiral Theron Khalid, announced a new voice, deeper and more resonant than the first remnant. A larger construct stepped forward, its form somehow more substantial, more authoritative. I am the first remnant, it declared. My consciousness was among the first to transcend biological form. I remember Earth as it was. I remember the skies burning and the oceans boiling. I remember everything. Khalid squared his shoulders. I cannot change what happened in the past. No Crexorian alive today participated in those events. No, the first remnant agreed. But you have benefited from them. Your empire was built on the ashes of countless species, humanity among them. What do you want from us? Khalid asked. Reparations, territory, resources. A sound like laughter echoed through the chamber, though none of the construct's faces showed emotion. We transcended the need for such things millennia ago. What we want is acknowledgement, recognition, and a promise. The first remnant raised its hand, and a holographic image of Earth appeared between them, not as the scared wasteland it now was, but as it might be again. Oceans clean, continents green, life thriving. We will restore our homeworld, the first remnant declared, not to reclaim it, but to remember what was lost. In return, the Crexorian Empire will acknowledge its history, the full truth of its origins, and the species it destroyed in its rise to power. And if we refuse? Khalid asked, though he already knew the answer. Then we activate the quantum triggers we've embedded in every system of your empire. Your technology will turn against you. Your worlds will go dark. You will not be destroyed, but you will be reduced to a pre-spaceflight civilization, forced to evolve again, perhaps more wisely next time. Khalid felt the weight of his entire species resting on his shoulders. The Crexorian Empire prided itself on its strength, its invincibility. To acknowledge past atrocities, to admit vulnerability, it went against everything his culture valued. And yet, faced with extinction or regression, what choice did they have? There is one more condition, the first remnant said, interrupting Khalid's thoughts. Humanity will take its place in galactic affairs once more. Not as conquerors, not as victims, but as watchers. We will establish outposts throughout the galaxy, monitoring all spacefaring civilizations to prevent the rise of another empire built on genocide. You would appoint yourselves the moral arbiters of the galaxy? Khalid asked incredulously. "We have seen the worst that intelligent life can do," the first remnant replied. "We have spent 500,000 years reflecting on it, evolving beyond it. Who better?" Before Khalid could respond, the courtroom dissolved, and he found himself back on the bridge of the indomitable will. His crew was there, frozen in place, unaware of what had transpired. The remnant stood before him, waiting. "You have one standard galactic day to deliver our message to your emperor. We will await your response. And if the emperor refuses, then the age of the Krexorian Empire ends, and a new age begins." The remnant's form began to fade. "Choose wisely, Admiral, not just for your species, but for all who will come after." As the remnant vanished completely, the ship's systems hummed back to life. The crew unfroze, blinking in confusion, unaware that any time had passed. Vazra looked up from her console. "Admiral, the alien vessels they're withdrawing." Khalid watched as the massive human fleet pulled back, taking up positions around the dead world they had once called Earth. "Sir," Mrev prompted, "your orders." Khalid took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history on his shoulders. "Set course for the Imperial capital. Maximum speed." "What about the alien fleet?" Khalid stared at the blue-green planet on the view screen, the homeworld of a species his ancestors had tried to eradicate, only to create something far more powerful, far more enduring. "They're not going anywhere," he said quietly. "They'd been waiting 500,000 years. They can wait one more day." As the indomitable will accelerated away from Earth, Admiral Khalid wondered what the Emperor would decide, and what the galaxy would look like when the descendants of humanity fully returned to the cosmic stage. Not as conquerors, not as victims, but as something entirely new. The memory and conscience of a galaxy that had forgotten them. The last human had died 500,000 years ago, but humanity had never truly left. And now, their legacy would shape the future of all species for millennia to come.